David and housekeeping Austin Jeff.
Alex, you're frozen. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Oh, man, I'm Jeff Doss. That's Alex Demon, and he's fuzzy and slow today. So, oh, man, this is going to be a great episode because guess what? If Alex, he's also on mute yet. He's old man. If something like this happens again, I have other people to talk to. So we have an awesome big episode today. Before I introduce you to all of them, guys, we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour, and we just got finished with Ladies Night, and it was a big show. It was an awesome show. 9 awesome fights that everyone just went out and put their heart and soul out into. So we are going to talk more about that next week. But if you want to know about that, go and check out Raw, Regina and Willie's show. They talked about that, as well as CTE, Chris, Travis, and Carlos's show as well. So, all right.
Card. I dig the card.
Yes, it was. Alex, you're there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome back, buddy. Oh,
and he's gone.
Anyway, so we are having our, was this second, third? I guess it's our third, maybe even fourth Forms and Weapons Forum. So this is going to be exciting. This is our new school forum. We've had late 90s, mid 2000s one. We had a all ladies one. We had a current maybe veterans one with Jackson and Sammy, and now we got the new school guys. So from Michigan, Kaelyn Kowalski.
So, how you doing, everyone?
Awesome. And from Illinois, we got Salef. What's up, Salef?
Heyo.
All right, and we got from Florida,
video game.
Rashad. What's up, Rashad?
Video game.
Pretty good.
He's
Can't
not
complain.
Oh yes, Salef is definitely not he's a video game character. That's so true. All right. So everyone, we are gonna just talk and discuss the strategies we go into and you guys go into with your sport karate careers. Also, what you want to see, what we like, what we dislike, what we are struggling with. Just all kinds of stuff. So this is an open forum for us to discuss. Maybe we can help other competitors, maybe push themselves forward. Maybe we can share with the promoters what we would like to see. Maybe coaches, maybe karate schools, all kinds of stuff like that. So let's just have some fun. All right, everyone ready for that?
Let's go.
All right. So
That's my line. Time out.
Hey, let me have my moment, Rashad, please. Let me have my moment.
Oh man,
This is my first time here.
My first time here too, but okay, I got you.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. All right, so first off, we're gonna go with what just happened. All right, so Kayla and I were joking. We were the two and Alex were not at competes. So let's do a big congratulations to Salef on his grand win. Awesome job.
Thank you.
And Rashad Eugene for all your first place wins. Awesome job, man. Keep it up. Keep up the just you guys are going. I'm just surprised. I'm just glad this Salef is walking.
Man.
Like what the heck? I don't know how you
No,
just
walk us through what the heck happened at AKA.
Okay,
Because
so
when I was watching your performance, I was like, what the hell? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. This is amazing.
All
And
of
then
the men
sudden, you're
over, and I was like,
laying down.
emergency, emergency,
So-
Right.
solid
Now-
down.
He's laying down, and I'm
Yeah,
like, someone's
that
like, oh,
was-
man, he broke
Yeah,
his foot.
dude.
I'm like, he broke his what?
Warrior Cub
So
got
what
me a
happened?
little like traumatized. But what happened was I was doing my third section, like literally my last few moves of my form. And literally it was just supposed to be a B-twist round, spin out of it, chop punch. And what happened was when I was throwing the B-twist round, when I did the round kick, my right calf started like tightening up and I couldn't get it to flex back to like land on my ball of the feet. So it stayed pointed the whole time. So basically when I landed on the ankle and I was spinning on my ankle.
Yeah.
So it was pretty bad, but surprisingly, I didn't break it. Like that's what I'm surprised about. I didn't break
Yeah, we
it,
all
didn't
are.
tear anything. It was just a really bad sprain. But yeah, so when I went, I was actually
Could have been too bad, because a couple
oh.
weeks later, you're out competing again and winning it overall.
But this is the funny thing. So I actually wasn't sure
been
about
funny
going
already.
to competes. I wasn't sure if I was gonna go to competes. I actually registered like the day of competes, and
Stop.
when I went there, when I was flying to competes, I was still not 100% healed up, and not only that, my big right toe, for some reason on the plane ride, it started swelling up. So my right toe during the tournament was hurting really bad. And what I had to do during like the first day of competes on Friday, Rashad saw it. I had to wrap up my foot with tape, and then I put a normal brace over, and it still hurt really bad to jump. Like I couldn't jump to my full potential, but yeah, I was just muscling through it half the time.
Throughout the whole time, I was just checking on him, saying like, "Yo, is your foot okay? Is your toes okay?"
Yeah.
And he said it hurts like crap, but he kept on going because at the end of the day, we don't have 2 feet, but the last place we want to go to is the hospital. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
You feel me? So
See, my favorite part of all of this is Salef is quite literally the type of dude that'll say, "Nah, I'll do it." It just what happened. He had a sprained foot. People say sometimes that sprains are worse than breaks. His foot started swelling up on the plane. He literally registered the day of competition, last minute decision. So this wasn't like a preparation thing. He wasn't at his full potential, and this man still wins and overall kills everyone. He's literally the definition of spite. Just saying.
So
Just saying.
you either inspired like a bunch of people, or you pissed off everybody else.
I
You always
mean,
get people in the comments
Yeah,
talking
you
about
need
like
that
they're always
You
like,
beat me.
I mean,
"You need to rest.
I
You need
mean,
to sit."
I'm not.
Pushing
He's
through.
like,
I mean, I was hoping I wasn't pissed off because I went against him in grand. So I'll be honest with you. I was just making sure that his foot is okay. I mean, like we do the craziest things in competition.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah,
said
it's
he's
true.
pushing through. I'm like, okay, cool. So no doubt about it, no question, no excuses about it. All right, let's work. And it was a fair play. It was a fair play in the overalls between me, him, and Alec Jahanvash. So he came out with the win. I congratulate him for that, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, Alex and I actually talked about this last week on our show. It's like, have you ever gotten an injury in the beginning of a tournament and just kind of pushed through, you know? Or like the day, you know, Alex shared, he messed his foot up the day before competition and still competed. And, you know, and I've had several things like that where I actually literally got off crutches and flew to the tournament and competed that whole week. Things like that. Just stuff that we do. It's crazy, right? But we love it.
I have quite of a story for that one. So this was
I was just gonna ask if you did.
So
I know
this wasn't bad as Salef, but it was just hard the fact that I had to fight the next day and I had to use my legs. So 2016 Battle of Atlanta, I feel like it was a breakthrough for me that everybody noticed me in the musical weapons division because not many people saw me. So what happened? Did music. I think this was the same year that Jackson Rudolph moved up to the adult division. This was his rookie year, I believe.
Okay.
So that year, 5 minutes before the division started, musical weapons. I was stretching out, doing a split. Next thing you know, boom! I messed up my hamstring. So like literally going into a full split stretch, boom. Almost I pulled my hamstring, literally. Like it got to a point where I'm like, I could barely walk. It was hard. It took me 5 minutes to get from the courtyard to the bathroom. Like that's how much it hurts. So I just told my coach, like, you have icy hot, you have painkillers. I need to run this form. So surprisingly, with the pull hamstring, I came out with a Jesus flip, a backflip, and did my form. Next thing you know, it wasn't an incredible win, but I took 4th place out of 15 people?
Yeah. Hey, dude.
So
that's right.
That adrenaline kicks in, and you're like,
what's funny?
I'm good.
What's
That's
funny
right.
about that is there's a fair amount of people who say you shouldn't stretch before you compete. No, I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people, but there are a fair amount of people that say you shouldn't stretch. Not funny?
Thank you, computer Alex.
I want to hear the logic as to why you should not stretch before competition.
I've been told different things
Today's
about
not the
that.
day for that.
Yeah.
Because that is a rant I will go on for quite a while.
Yeah, forever. Yeah. No, we've talked about this several times, and yeah, Salef, I mean, we can kind of just, as far as while we're on that, let's kind of go on what everyone's kind of like pre-game type things are, what you like to do to get you warmed up, stretch, or whatever. Kaelyn, let's go with you, and then we'll go to Salef, and then Rashad at the end.
Usually my first division is, it kind of depends. It's either tread challenge or it's creative weapons. So if my first division is trad challenge, then, I have my uniform, my white uniform on. I have my my Team Evolution tracksuit on, my jacket. I'm walking around. I got my slippers on. I finally found that, your feet got to be warm so the rest of you can be warm. And so I'm walking around with my slippers now, and I'm just blasting Rammstein. I don't know if you guys know who Rammstein is. Yeah. Rashad knows, but I'm just blasting the German heavy metal in my head, and I got the smug face going on. I'm walking around. And I'm just trying to get into that mindset, and then once in a while I'll stop, I'll stretch, but it's mostly just kind of walking around, feeling loose, loosening up, and just getting the vibe of the tournament so far, and then just figuring out what I got to do. Sometimes I forget to eat during that period, so afterwards I'm just always hungry, or I'm just snacking. And
that makes sense.
You got the Pedialyte, you got the water, you figure out something to do. It's still a work in progress for like a ritual, but so far for me, it's just, if you see me walking around and I'm like headbanging to something, or like I look really mad,
now we know.
I'm listening to Rammstein. It's okay.
Now we know.
Should people ignore you? Or are you okay if people come up and talk to you?
Oh, anyone can always talk to me, of course. Because I know that there are some people, you got the people, you got the guys that sit in the chair with their bows on their shoulder and they're staring at the wall. you got the Avery Plowdens that walk up in around the mat in their full gear, just yelling, "Oh!" And it scares you sometimes, but if I'm sitting around, you're more than welcome to come talk to me. I'm not that person. I don't take myself that seriously. I wish I did sometimes, but not that serious.
Oh man! All right, so Salef, what about you?
Yeah, it's almost like the same idea as Kaelyn. Like, I usually try to make sure I eat before the tournament and have like 3 to 2 hours of like digestion at least. And while I get to the tournament, I of course put my stuff down, find a place. I do a light stretch, and after I do like a light stretch to get all my muscles a bit loose, I start drilling jumping drills first. So I just do like mini jumps, then higher, and then after I do that to a certain amount of time, when I feel comfortable with my jumping skills, I actually stay low to the ground. Then I practice spinning drills, so I get used to spinning around my surroundings. So because I'm not used to the environment, so I want to make sure that I'm comfortable in my environment. So I do some spinning drills so I understand my surroundings better. And then after that, then I warm up some hand combos, just not even like from my form, just simple like chop punch to the 45s to practice my shifting and to warm up my hands so I could speed up my hands during like when I actually do my form, but without me going like all out because I don't want to use too much energy. And I mean, same thing goes for weapons. With weapons, just practice sword strikes instead of like doing my whole combo. And I would be listening to music too while I'm doing this. And I've actually been told sometimes I accidentally ignore people because I'm trying to get into the zone.
Yeah.
And I think during this tournament I ignored actually 2 people by accident. It's not I mean to do on purpose. I'm trying to focus, but for those people who I accidentally ignored, sorry about that. But yeah, like I make sure my whole process of warming up is just to make sure I'm comfortable with my surroundings, even my ankle. Like I stretch my ankle a lot because ever since what happened to Warrior Cup, I don't want to mess that up again. So
yeah, exactly.
Just jumping drills, spin drills, and warming up the upper body with hand combos and sword strikes, just so my body is fully prepared when I want to go full out. So,
what kind of music do you listen to, Salef, when you're getting ready?
Oh gosh, this is okay.
I think I already know the answer to this, but I just want to hear it from you.
Okay, so I actually listen to, I want to say depending on my mood, I listen to depending like what song is catchy for the day.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean it has to be a hardcore song. It literally could be like a love song to like R&B. Like I'd be listening to some Ed Sheeran sometimes and it's a slow song. But I'm like, I'm from the outside, I'm mean. But in my head, I'm like, yo, this song's heartbreaking, man. Like, who knows?
Salef, the whole episode, I was trying to just like intentionally just be in chill mode. And you started talking and I started leaning in more and more and more. And I'm like, say it louder for the people in the back, Salef, because it was like you're dropping right now. I hope people are listening because what you were walking through, I'm like, yes, that's perfect. But when you mentioned like the music could be just like anything, dude, I kid you not. This is the funniest thing ever, right?
He could be just like a serious face,
Like my music choices here.
But listen, that's the thing. I get it. So I used to be into if I'm going to be at this intensity, I've got to listen to something that I think is at that intensity.
Yeah.
I look over to my homie, Greg Betlock, and he is just like super intense. Like this dude's got a scowl like a caveman, right? So I'm like, he puts his seat because this is CD player time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I gotta see what this dude's got. Homeboy was listening to Bob Marley, all right? And I'm like,
let's go.
How's that get you ready to fight somebody? You're listening to No Woman, No Cry. What the heck is this, right? I didn't get it, but you're saying you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
I was backstage, I think, at Diamonds, and I was talking to Gabrielle Dunn and Jared Dunn about this, too. I asked Gabrielle what she was listening to, and she showed me, and I was showing her what I was listening to. It was the Rammstein thing, and I was like, you should listen to this. And I was like, what are you listening to? And she hold up her phone. It's The Circle of Life. That's what, hands down. And I was like, yep,
hey,
makes sense. Whatever makes you comfortable.
That's right.
Now, wait, before we get to
Rashad, I'm thinking Rashad listens to Circle of Life too. I'm thinking.
I got a question for you guys. Do you guys lay down and take naps before you guys compete?
Oh my gosh, I've done that one time in my life.
I've done one time, like once, and it was I woke up and I was like,
Yeah, actually, if it was a good nap. I woke up. It was because I was waiting for runoffs, and it took forever. So I'm like, all right, I cheered on for everybody. I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. And
I
then
think you guys are more
Good
old
night.
school than you think.
Yeah, I know. You guys are more old school than think. Dude,
You guys are
I'll,
more old school than you think. We could pluck you guys from here and place you in the 90s, and I think you guys would fit in just fine.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
You might need
Again,
some low jeans,
yeah.
but you'd be
I
just
want to
fine.
get to.
Yeah. Let's hear Rashad.
Yeah, my
Rashad,
bad.
let's hear it.
So to answer Alex Digman's question, that happened to me one time. That was at a local tournament, a Blitz tournament in Florida, and this was back in 2015, I believe. So I did all my divisions. I qualified for a grand champion. I was going against a top competitor at the time, and I was just waiting. I'm just waiting. You know what? I took a nap. Next thing you know, what woke me up?
No.
I call him the human bullhorn. He literally shouted out in my face, "Rashad Eugene, get ready for grand champion." When I said my eyes opened up like this, I kid you not. I had all the energy rushed up to me, and then next thing you know, I won grand champion. But yeah,
There you go. Hey,
So who was it that yelled like that?
his name is Tyreek, but I forgot his last name. I
all
totally
right.
forgot his name. Yeah, he used
Okay.
to work at Florida Sport Martial Arts in Orlando, but I know he has his own school.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Tariq. Yeah, Tariq.
Tariq Brown, I believe.
Yeah,
I
Tariq
could be
Brown.
wrong.
That
Yeah,
is who it
Tariq Brown.
is. That is who it is.
Yeah, he used
So
to compete for
he's a good
Team
dude.
Sidekick. Yep.
Yeah, he always gives me a hard back slap when we give high fives to each other. So that's the moment in time where I just say, okay, I'm a man. I have to suck it up. Boom, boom, hard slap. I kid you not. Yeah.
So,
But
yeah, you got any pre warm up routines or pre things that are different?
I don't think it's a little. I think it's a little bit different. For my pregame warm up, it always starts with an iced coffee in the morning. First off, for reasons why, because I'm a fighter and I have to make weight. I'm just saying it like that. All right. Second, going into the first divisions, which is CMX weapons, CMX forms, whichever. I always start off with a good stretch. It can be sometimes I forget to stretch, and next thing you know, I'm already warmed up. And then I put on my headphones. Now, just the music choice before Kaelyn already asked me. It could go from Kanye West to Adele to Rick Ross to a techno song from the 90s, the old school NASCAR techno songs. I'll be honest with you.
All right.
So while I'm blasting,
Hashtag Darude Sandstorm. I miss those days. I do.
Yes.
let's not bring not that techno.
No.
That
Okay, sorry, a little too old.
I mean, I used that for my first musical. I don't know.
I
People
think
like,
everyone did.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Your generation, yeah. Our generation
So-
used Mortal Kombat, okay?
Oh, that's right. Yep.
So pretty much, let's just say, starting with Kanye, I always put on this one song by Kanye West, "Blood on the Leaves," and pretty much, if you see me looking mad, looking very straightforward while doing like little skips back and forth, pacing back and forth, that is exactly what I'm doing, because it helps me warm up, it helps me loosen up, it helps me stay focused on what to do, and helps me stay relaxed and to worry about myself rather than other competitors, like again Salef, like Alex Macias, like just to name a few, pretty much, because I can't think of it at the top of my head. So just to help me stay relaxed and worry about myself, worry about what I'm gonna throw in the competition. And once I'm done with that, once I'm finished listening to Adele, hello, then
No.
then I go
You do
into.
not do that. You do not.
Yes, I did. I don't care.
I'm
So,
sure he does. I'm sure he does.
Listen, if y'all know my motto, I don't care most of the time. So pretty much, I just
can
go
embrace
into. So pretty much, I'm just going into light tricking work with my weapons, with double bow, with commas. I work my hand sections, just a few, and same thing with trad bow, with other traditional weapons that I'm doing as well. So that's pretty much my pregame ritual for competition, for NASCAR competition at that.
Awesome.
Well,
awesome.
now I got a different question, and Jeff would know a lot about this as well. So, like, because you just mentioned like all the different divisions that you're doing, and Kaelyn was the same. Does it get mentally exhausting, not physically exhausting? when I did a lot of divisions, they were kind of the same, right? I didn't do like, first of all, the traditional I did was Korean, all right? So you can't, when you go from Korean to like open or extreme, right? It's a decent transition. When you go from Japanese to that, like, nah, there's no transition to that. That's another world, right? And then I didn't really use bow, right? So it's another level, right? Does it get mentally exhausting having to switch like that?
Yeah, go Kaelyn. Hold on. Go Kaelyn. She wants to
go.
raise her hand.
This is her
I'm
moment.
sorry,
My bad. This is her moment.
Sorry, it's my moment right now, Rashad. Let me live. Anyway, so
Okay.
I feel like I should answer this one first because I was asked this question actually quite a lot when I was growing up. When I was doing WKC, when I was doing kind of local tournaments and NBL.
Excellent.
Where's my NBL kids at? Anyway, I would do 8+ divisions. I would do Korean, I'd do Jap, I would do classical, I would do
soft style.
I was getting to that.
Hey, I had to show everybody you did
musical, creative. I would do extreme, soft style weapons, and soft style forms. And I would get asked a lot, is it hard switching over from, wushu to hardstyle Japanese to CMX creative weapons? For me personally, not really. I feel, well, here's the thing. If you take two styles and you are, formally based in one, let's say I do Isshinryu. I do Isshinryu right now. If I start taking wushu, that's going to complement and affect how I do Isshinryu. It's going to affect how I think about Isshinryu. Either it's more than likely going to make my Isshinryu better because I'm thinking more about the dynamic of my body and where I'm at in like the world, I guess I could say, or where I'm positioned. And so when I'm thinking about my weapons versus my classical, okay, how do I feel in my classical so that I can improve in my weapons? How do I feel in my weapons so I can do better in my wushu? What can I do here differently that I feel in my classical, if that makes sense? I feel like they complement each other.
No, doesn't make sense.
It makes sense to me. I get it as well.
Salef, what do you hear? What do you feel when you hear all that?
Salef.
Wait.
I agree.
Okay.
What do you feel when you hear all that?
I actually have like a different mentality towards it because I don't really get tired. I think it's mainly because of how I was kind of raised into martial arts. Like the way I make my forms isn't based off of one type of specific martial arts. I try to add variety to it so it just doesn't look like a simple Japanese form. So I make my forms in a way where I could have fun. And like I think this year I'm kind of testing something out where I'm changing bits and parts of my form for every tournament I go to. So every tournament you'll see me in, there might be a different part of my form that might be different because I just want to make my form look cool and have fun doing it.
Right.
So I don't really get tired doing my forms or like mentally exhausted. Even when I was younger, I wasn't tired at all. In all honesty, I was more oblivious to what's going on when I was younger. Like if I didn't have my parents to tell me what's going on, I would have just probably missed all my divisions because I would just like, okay, got my scores. What's next? That was just me.
I feel the same way because it's just like, okay, what's next? I don't remember what I signed up for. Let me look at my bracelet, see what they wrote on it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next? Next one.
Oh, man.
Exactly. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't really get mentally exhausted again. And I think that's also because I don't have a lot of divisions as of right now. But
like you don't have, like you might have multiple divisions, but you don't have as many as everybody else, and they might do like
exactly
8
different styles and stuff. Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, got it. All right, Rashad, let's hear about this, but also from perspective of someone who fights as well.
That's true.
Okay. So let me just say this. Like, I'm gonna just start off with this. My mom is not a real karate mom. And the reason why I'm bringing my mom into this in a way is because I just did like a questions thing on on Instagram, and somebody asked me, why do I do this? And I read it as like, why do I do so many divisions? That person meant otherwise. I just literally said, like, first off, I'm surprised my mom didn't even ask me like, why do I do so many divisions? So just bringing it out there. I really don't get mentally exhausted of doing so many divisions. It's mostly because to guarantee my spot to go to the finals, whether it's weapons, forms, or fighting, and traditional weapons, if you want to be very specific as well. So let's just say let's take the 4 CMX weapons division. You got extreme, musical, creative bladed, and creative non-bladed. And now this year, what started last year, I solely stick to 2 weapons, which is double bow and commas. And it all depends on really the mood that I'm in. Whereas, like, okay, I do start off with creative. I do commas for creative bladed, obviously, and creative non-bladed. I do double bow. Now, if I feel that if I drop in one division, if I drop the commas and I still have extreme and musical to run, it all depends on how I feel like I really want to hit this form again. And 90% of the time that actually works. Whereas like if I feel it and I want to go into it again harder than ever, then because no matter the outcome, it actually works. So like I said, go ahead.
So it's like you have options if you're not feeling confident in one versus the other, and then you know that you'll be definitive with the other.
Not like, let's just say, not discouraged off of one weapon, but if like I was doing really good with commas and then I dropped, I'm getting mad. I got mad and I'm like, okay, I'm running this again. I'm gonna hit this harder. So it's going off of that. And going into fighting, put it like this: in California, that was the one tournament I did the most divisions, more than usual. Meaning that literally, when Salef said that he signed up for the tournament like the day of, I signed up for open fighting like 2 hours before the division started.
Awesome.
And so I've been thinking about it before our first division started. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna sign up for open fighting. There's this amount of fighters. If there was like 5 fighters, I wasn't going to do it. So there was like, 15, 20 fighters. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So, I mean, I did pretty good. Awesome. I made it to the second match. I lost against a veteran, Jack Felton, 3-9. Yeah, and so I just went out there. Now, transitioning from weapons to fighting is just, it's basically how I was raised in the dojo, pretty much. Because in the dojo where I grew up as a color belt, pretty much they like to do everything: traditional forms, traditional weapons, CMX, fighting, all that type of stuff. And it's basically how mentally, without knowing, just how to switch from this division to this division. Let's just say switch from traditional forms to go into self-defense. Let's just say that. So it just started in the dojo pretty much.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to share just because I've done tons of divisions over my years. So one tournament, I think I competed in 16 divisions, and I did like 27 performances in that weekend. But I won a motorcycle, so hey, it was all worth it, right?
That's a thing.
Yeah,
Kaelyn, you had the exact same jaw-dropping, eye-opening moment I had when I heard that for the first time. Yes.
Sorry, I get hoverboards and an Amazon gift card.
Oh no, she's flexing. Time out. She's flexing.
Yes.
This is her moment. This is her moment.
That's right.
Oh, Rashad.
So for me, it's kind of the same thing like you said, guys. It's not really that, like, I want just more opportunity to get there, right? Again, the way we would think, yes, mom's help. Yes, thanks, Mom. You helped me a bunch. Thank you. When I was but even getting a second draw is important, right? And I think that's something that people kind of forget. That's something that Jackson talked about. It's like, yeah, I could win my one division and have my one, but if I could get multiples, that makes it better. I'm trying to eliminate my competition from getting in there. So it's a very important thing. And also, competing in the NBL, you were allowed to do multiple, whatever you won, you were allowed to do it. So if I won there 1-4 for the grands, I could do all 4 forms. Now I wouldn't do it, but sometimes I would do 2. If say maybe I was in first and then there was someone in the middle and then I was at the end, I would do that just to double, to make sure that I had, my best chance of winning. Depending on what the style was, like if I won Japanese and Korean, those are 2 completely different. I would do that. That's something that I think, why did I compete in all those if I didn't want to get the opportunity to win it? That was, or perform it. That's my only gripe with not being able to do. I understand it's all about time. Everything in NASCAR is about time. And that's one of my issues with it. So, the way we're scored, the way everything is about getting everybody done, right? The way runoffs are done, all of that. So, what are some things, since we kind of transitioned on some things that I'm kind of complaining about low key, what are some things that you would like to see change, or maybe the most frustrating thing that's going on in sport karate forms of weapons right now? All right, who has the biggest grin? All right, we've got a competition. Who wants to go first? Yeah, we got a big competition. All right,
come on,
Rashad, you're going first.
Yeah.
See, I knew that was gonna come to me, because the biggest thing is I think they need to be clear on what are the rules for let's just say, okay, I'm just gonna say creative forms. Let's be honest,
right?
Because I was all for me personally. I actually don't complain that much, but I'm speaking for like other people's perspective. So let me start off with me personally. When they released that new creative forms rule, let's just say that 5 days before Chicago, me personally, I was telling myself and my students, adjust and adapt.
Right.
Yes, this may happen in other tournaments. Yes, this may happen in the Wild Wild West tournament. I'm just gonna say it like that. I don't care. And pretty much, you never know what's gonna happen. So you always gotta adjust and adapt. I was ready to throw cheat 1080 in the division. I'll be honest with you. Now, because one of the rules for what they said for one of the rules in creative,
didn't matter the amount of rotations.
Not right. So
I don't know how you can make that a thing.
Right. So my thing about it is just adjust and adapt. So my thing about it is just adjust and adapt. Now, speaking from other people's perspective, and I try to say my piece on social media, but somebody always like to put their opinion out there, and I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into that argument because I'll put them to shame. Just saying, but pretty much, I get from what other people saying that it's hard for them to adjust into what they already been practicing. So my thing is, like, if it's a rule like that, they should release it about 2 weeks prior to the event, or even a month, to be on the safe side for everybody to practice and to go ahead. What I do believe that rule change may happen at the next NASCAR tournament. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, then I'm hoping that they release it 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the event that happens. So
I have a question.
Yeah, if it's going to happen at Rhode Island, they should release it like this week, because that gives everyone a month to go. Like, they have a month of no NASCAR World Tour events, and they can just say the first one. They just need to let people know what the first one is, because honestly, when we were at Starrcade, some judges were doing the new rules and some judges were doing the old ones, and they didn't know. So
I was so afraid of that too.
So that
and then one judge did not like the fact that he just doesn't like the front hand to the body. Just saying.
Right.
Yeah, some of them were just outright saying, "I don't care. I'm not calling it." Like, man, you can't make your rules.
Right.
But actually, you know what though? I got a question for you guys though. If they came out, like Jeff was just saying, if they came out like next week and said these are the rules for next year, would you be upset about that? Or would you say, like, all right, cool, I got it?
I mean, who would be upset about that?
I don't know. Maybe you'd be like, why are you doing it for next year? Why don't you just do it for right now?
Again, who would be? Me personally, my
You're getting silence here, Alex.
Who would be upset for that? As for they want to wait for a whole year, that gives you a whole year to prep for that division, for that rule change to happen. So
You hear that,
unless it's like
hear that?
a oh man, I might get in trouble for this. Man, I'm ready for
All
man,
right.
I'm not ready for this.
No. You answered exactly like I wanted, exactly like I knew you were going to. Thank you.
Anybody want to message me about this? Privately message me. But okay, if it's like a gear change, like let's just say they're gonna add knee pads, let's just say that, which I do recommend that because in Cali I was falling all over the place and I almost hit my knees on the dang concrete floor. Just a recommendation. But if they added that, I mean that wouldn't be a problem. I mean, like what? Knee pads are like what, $5 at Walmart? I'm guessing. I don't know. But if it's something like a drastic rule change for like the forms or weapons division, and they say, okay, everybody has a year of preparation for this, then me personally, I wouldn't be mad about it. I mean, for other general people that is actually ready for the division, I'm pretty sure they would not be mad about it. So I'll go with that.
Yeah. And again, just to go off that, what everybody said, adapt and adjust, and for me, I make up my forms on the spot. So it's just kind of like, you just go and do whatever. So whatever. I
know Rashad has done that. Don't even say
that.
I told Jeff at Starcade, like I did traditional forms. And I told Kaelyn, I did traditional forms at Starcade. 2 days prior, I learned the kata off of YouTube.
Yep.
And the day of, I actually ran it for the first time.
He called me like 1 a.m. and he was like, Kaelyn. And I was like, what, Rashad? Kaelyn, I'm going to do traditional forms at Starcade. And I was like, okay, Rashad. Okay.
This time it wasn't Karun for no die, okay? It wasn't that kata, okay?
Oh, it wasn't? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it was Ohan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you had told me about one. And I was like, oh, Hyundai. You were like, no.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear that form again. All right, Salef.
We're talking about gripes, Jack.
Yeah. What would you like to see improve, or what are your gripes, or however you want to.
All right.
Go.
I have a lot of opinions about NASCAR.
All right.
Based off my how I see it as. So
you can't even get out. You can't even get out.
I'm nervous right now. This is like
you're about to get in trouble.
Honestly. So if anyone knows knows me or who trains at Sharky's Karate Studio, we absolutely hate the whole thing about throwing the weapon in the air, because my idea for making a form or any form is you got to base it off an actual fight. So if you had a weapon and you're fighting someone, would you ever throw your weapon in the air? Like, no, you would not. I wouldn't mind like manipulations with the hand or anything. Like say it's a block, something like you're spinning and blocking it, but the whole throwing and then spinning around or like that whole idea of throwing the weapon in the air, and like it ruins the whole point of your form. Like you could be going all out, and then once you throw it, it slows down your form, and the energy of the crowd doesn't go hype at all. They stay quiet unless you catch it. So it ruins the flow of how everybody views it too. And it ruins the whole point of what is an actual martial arts form.
Hey, Salef, I would like to provide a counter argument if that's okay with you.
Yes.
I'm the audience for this one. I am not going to bring my opinion to this. So, where's my popcorn?
Hey, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm just going to say it now. But it's really fun.
No, I agree. I mean, yeah, it's cool looking, and I understand that people
exactly.
It's fun.
That's the thing. Most of it's based off of entertainment value. If
So
you're saying me in a traditional form? Like, let's base it off a traditional form then.
Right.
You don't in traditional. You do all those hard moves, right?
Right.
But you don't. Like even in traditional weapons, you don't spin the bow around in trad weapons. That's why sometimes I hate it watching certain people. That's also a trend. But why follow the trend when you know you could be different?
Because it wins, unfortunately, and but
you got to understand. This recent tournament and competes, I never threw my weapon once, and I still got really good placement.
Good. I
Right.
throw
So
mine like
I feel
ice.
like based off how you apply your martial arts into your weapon form, you don't need all that throwing just to make yourself look cool, I guess.
You're
But I mean, you're absolutely right. It's the trend nowadays, and
I
it's
like
for
what Sammy
entertainment.
said. Jeff,
But
can you put that up there?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
I
that.
mean, it's the same
when
thing
Saleh-
with
I've been
me.
waiting
Like,
for it to die.
it's
I'm
like,
sorry.
hey,
I'm waiting
no
for
one,
the open thread to die.
no one kicks anymore. But does that mean I'm going to stop kicking? No.
exactly,
I'm gonna do it
you.
all the time. That's what
exactly.
I'm gonna do.
Like,
If it's what
I mean,
wins and
what?
you don't notice people who are doing the real karate winning, what is the point of
exactly.
pursuing, against the trend when it's not going to do anything for you?
Yeah.
You
So,
know, I said
I
this
get
a
that.
long
So
time
maybe
ago.
this is a good
Go ahead.
point.
Go ahead, Rashad.
I said this a
might be a
long
good
time
question to
ago.
ask you guys.
I said this a long
Alex,
time ago to
go ahead.
myself and to a couple of people that when Ariel Torres hit the scene with Kusanku, Shatiara Kusanku,
Mhm.
everybody started doing it. Now, going into, let's just say, weapons, traditional weapons, we have our same opinion about traditional weapons. Now, if Ariel Torres does a traditional kabuto weapon and he wins with it, 9 times out of 10, everybody's gonna go into that trend. I low key waiting for something like that to happen.
I am too.
That is a very good point.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think Joey's been trying to do that, and he's been successful at times,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, I
sometimes
do
not.
agree.
You
I do
see
agree.
Amber Rutherford out here with her ore, though.
Right.
Come on, that's top performance skill. That
Right.
thing is heavy. You ever held one of those things and tried doing what she's doing with it?
Right.
There's no match for that. But I hate to use the toothpick, but if I just happen to be good with the toothpick, that's what's that's what I'm gonna put out there. For me personally, I have stuff ready that I could use in these tournaments, but unless there's gonna be some kind of movement, which I'm hoping after this there could be.
Right.
Be
If
the
there's some kind
movement.
of we can do it. We can do it.
Be it.
So
Then,
Salef,
do it. So like that.
hey, Alex, hold on. I have something because what Salef is saying is kind of what I've been talking about for a while. This is my biggest gripe with creative weapons. There's no difference. There's no rule that affects the weapons. It's just you can't flip, which means that you're seeing the same forms, not from Rashad, but from other people. They do their same form just without the flips. It should be a change in the weapons. If it's a weapons division, the weapons should change, the rules for the weapens. So I think a creative weapon should be no releases.
I like that. I mean,
Yes.
like I was hanging out with Jacob Ellis after the tournament one time, and we were just watching a bunch of old NASCAR competitors. I can't really name any, but I just know like they're just OG NASCAR forms, and literally none of them threw once. But one thing that set them apart was their speed, their power, and how their transitions from their strikes into the tricks. Like that's what I love, because everything is smooth. Then nothing stops the flow of your form. And I mean, if that's if people
who's
is
your
into other
favorite
throws,
old school competitor?
Well, yeah, let's just get into like who your inspirations are, guys. I mean, let's.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I'm a little biased here. You can't.
I was about to say he's got like a list.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm more into.
I know there's a guy, Salef, that you remind me in your performances and in your approach so much of, but I'm gonna wait until I hear what your answer is.
Okay. I think we all know that answer.
So actually, 2 people who lives like rent free in my head. I like watch their forms all the time just so I could get an idea, and it's mainly Micah Carnes and Brendan Hewer. Both
figured that.
And both of them helped me gain the idea of how I created my whole style of and for my forms, like that whole fighting unique style and trying to create the flow. And yeah, I mean, I was those are the main 2 people that I like enjoy watching, and who inspires me to make my forms, and literally a lot of them is a lot of NASCAR or Team AKA competitors, because that's who I'm based off of, Team AKA members. So I tend to watch a lot of AKA people most of the time.
I'm gonna throw you something.
Brendan Hewer and Micah.
Okay. I know who you're gonna say, Alex. Yeah.
I dig Brendan Hewer, and I think Micah Carnes is very talented. I think you're better than both of them. I think the person that you remind me the most of is Steve Tirada.
Yep, I knew that was coming.
I've been told that before.
Yeah.
That slipped my mind so much.
Really? You didn't see that one coming?
I did not see that one coming. I'll be
What
honest
did
with
you think I was gonna
But
say?
now, but I thought you was gonna say Micah Carnes, but since he said Steve Tirada, and I looked at him, I'm like, oh snap! Okay,
Yeah.
then.
Because the different footwork, the movement on the ground. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's it's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of, the transitions from move to move, very similar.
But like stuff
all
like
right,
that,
go ahead.
it makes me like a lot of those old school competitors is what inspires me to make my forms.
Right.
Even like another thing that got me like helped me making my forms is do you guys know the meaning of Bunkai?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is one of the things that actually I hate. But Bunkai basically means the application of form, or in other words of saying it is like how does your form apply to a actual fight in a way? Like, are you able to use it on a person as a self-defense movement? And this is the one thing I see nowadays, and it's very consistent with a lot of competitors, is they're throwing their hand combos and hand movements, which could be unique in their own way. But in my mind, since I try to think of the martial arts behind it, do they understand what they're doing? Do they know what the self-defense is for? Or are they just throwing it just to have a form and a performance, and there's no actual fight? Like, one of the things that my sensei Sharky always tells me before I compete is get into the fight. And that's the main thing that helps me get into the zone, is I need to pretend I'm in a fight. And if I'm not, my performance is really bad, because I need to act like I'm fighting someone in order to show my performance. And
I'd like to throw something in there, Salef, if I can. I would like just to say that you are one of the only people that I have seen amongst so many that has such unique. I will tell this to the end of my dying days. You are one of the, best choreography, martial arts application people that I have seen in my personal career. There's not too many people out there that have such unique choreography every single time they compete, that get so into it like you do. And that it's not just, it's not just, oh, Salef Celiz. Now it's been you since you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, I've seen you since you were younger, since you were like 12, and everything you're doing now.
For me, it's like 9, because that boy was flipping when he was 9. He was doing body slams like this. I watched the videos, man.
It's just so advanced, and it's so out of the box. Every single time you compete, it's something different. It's unique. It's Salef. And you can watch a form that you do, and you can say, oh, that's Salef,
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's really just, people just need to get into the mindset as, in order to make a form, is there self-defense in it? That's how I think of it. As long you have a block, counter movement, and a smooth transition into that, you can make a really good form. And of course, still show the basics in it with shifting and simple basic hand chop punches, because you don't want to be too confusing for the judges. Right. Because I mean, nowadays too, like, judges need to learn how to judge too. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I don't understand why they put a traditional person sometimes for the CMX division, and then you expect them to judge you the same way. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. So Salef, just to go off that, and then we'll go to someone else, Sharon. one of my things I have to present for my next degree is I have to do something different that hasn't been done. So I'm taking a form, like, which is a made up form in the style, which is more of like an American freestyle type system. And I'm going to have them attack me like they would if I was doing, Bunkai in a traditional one. And they've never seen anything like that. And so it'll be almost like a creative form with that. So I would love to see something like that in this. I mean, maybe it would probably have to be a demo because it was probably not going to be something allowed in a division. But like something like that, just so that way people see that creative is just a creative way of protecting yourself. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I actually got Sensei Sharky told me this before, but since I want to get into stunts, he told me with my current forms that I've been doing, I should try filming it as to why I'm doing these movements and make it into like a stunt fight video.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
I always think of you. I always think that you make your forms for that purpose, and it looks like that's what you're doing, and so it would make perfect sense for you to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Rashad. Let's go, Rashad.
But no, Rashad doesn't have anybody
Inspirations.
that he models.
He is his own inspiration.
There's never been a Rashad. There has never ever been somebody who does what Rashad does. But I am interested to hear this. Go ahead, Rashad. What do you got?
I was about to say, do you know how I got started doing all this?
Let me hear it, man.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Straight up Sensei YouTube.
Yeah, I figured that.
Who were the people you looked up on YouTube?
Turning around.
On YouTube, okay, so there's a list, but I'll give you 5. There's no specific order. I'll tell you that. Okay, first off, again, no specific order. Ross Levine, between the weapons and the fighting. That's where I got my inspiration for with the single bow when I used to do single bow and the fighting as well. Next person that I used to compete against, which I'm hoping he's throwing out teasers. He's throwing out teasers that he might compete this year. Tyler Weaver. So that was one of the main people that I used to watch a lot, even though I'm kind of older than him, but like just watching a lot. Next person would be Rudy Raynon with the commas and the forms as well. And a little bit of tricking, even though at the time, like, I didn't know how to trick. Like, we're talking about an 11-year-old pudgy Rashad. Okay. So fourth person, I actually train with him now. And I started training with him last year, Marcel Jones. So
good. Yeah.
So with the forms and everything, with the flips, and his creative style of when he used to compete in the mid 2000s, all the way up to 2010, I believe. And the fifth person, Florida native, actually, Jennifer Espina with the bow. I used to watch her a lot. I actually did one lesson with her throughout my whole journey for competition. Didn't used to go to NASCAR tournaments, only went to like 1 or 2, but you're talking about I was a blue belt at the time. So I did one lesson with her. I was fortunate to do that. But those are the 5 people. I couldn't name them more, but I'm not going to go into that. Those are the 5 people that I used to look up. Through YouTube, pretty much. My biggest inspiration, I would say that. And rebuttaling of what Salef would say, pretty much transitioning into weapons, creating your own style, being unique. I actually had a friend, me and one of my best friends, we actually talked about this a lot. Well, a few times actually. Like, some people in NASCAR are very unique. I am not naming names. I'm not trying to get in trouble. Okay, so pretty much how I started, how I felt that I got up to where I'm at now is mostly because of triple bow. I actually started working on triple bow in 2014, mostly because the top competitor at the time when he was doing double bow was Reed Presley. And when I looked at a video of him, and I just said, you know what, I could do better. I could bring something better to the table. So even though I had so many opinions from judges and other people and parents saying that triple bow, you should stop doing triple bow, my mindset, you already know my motto, I don't care. So I kept on doing it, and to the point where everybody
Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
I dig Kaelyn.
Let me finish what I have to say, and I'll get to the broom. Okay.
Sorry.
So I kept doing what I'm doing with triple bow to the point up until like the end of 2019. That's when I officially stopped. Not officially stopped, but stopped doing triple bow because everybody started recognizing who I am pretty much. And that's how I got my name up there as far as being with the top competitors. So it's because of triple bow is where I'm at now. Now I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing double bow and commas. Those are the two weapons I'm sticking with. And
the broom.
No, first it was the hoe. The hoe was amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. And then it was the broom.
The hoe is actually a tradition. First of all, it is a gardening tool, people. Okay,
Yes, please.
it is a gardening tool. If you do not know, all right, let me tell you that. I have it with me on the other side, but that's going to be a mission to get to that floor. Okay, so and the broom, I have the broom here too. That was only a one-time thing. That is not going to happen again. First of all, it almost messed up my shoulder. That broom was heavy. That's one.
It'll happen
Two,
again.
You need a 10th degree weaponry broom.
That was
That's
a
right.
10th degree weaponry broom.
All right.
That's what you need, man. You
No,
need a
10th
G-force broom.
10th degree sent me that broom, literally.
That was my favorite part was the
Yeah.
fact that I looked at it and I was like, that's got foil on it, don't it?
Yeah, so he sent
Wow.
it to me as a joke because one of the karate parents wanted to make it as a joke. This was during the pandemic around the time, and I was just at the dojo sweeping the floor. Next thing you know, I made a video doing a section with the broom. Okay, so one of the karate parents sent Mr. Mike as a joke, like, "Yo, you should send Rashad a broom." He literally sent me a broom. I went on Instagram Live and everything with it. So I just said, you know what? Whatever tournament happens, I'm gonna do it because of one other karate parent kind of dared me to. So I actually came up with the flip with it. So I literally, it looks like I'm playing Quidditch from Harry Potter. So I call it the backflip Quidditch.
Best thing I've ever seen. I swear. That's one of the
Oh, man.
best things was him with the broom. He looked like Harry Potter.
Yeah. I know everybody's talking about that. I should do broom again. I should do triple bow again. Matter of fact, I did a poll yesterday saying who wants to see me do triple bow again. 91% people actually voted. Like, let's just say, no, put it like this. 126 people voted yes, that I should do it.
Dang.
That I don't listen.
Oh, man, you probably have a different weapon that no one's thought of before.
Right.
You're going to go out there with something strange, like
chair.
those little sticky hand things that kids play with when they
He
get
knows
into
what I'm talking
arcade.
about.
That I'm
chair.
telling you, this guy, I can find some random thing
You
that my
could.
kids are playing with that they left out here that you could use in a form. I'm
When's
not
the chocolate form?
Uh,
Look at him. You see? Take my crock. Here, take it.
gonna do a
I'm
form with
a
pocket
clock.
knife.
He
I'm gonna
would.
clock somebody with it though.
oh man.
Oh yeah, Rashad's left hand throwing skills is amazing. Very accurate.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
You really gonna bring that up?
All right, let's
It's
hear it.
still impressive. It impresses me every single
When
time.
Oh,
you had
man.
linked him the video. Come on, Rashad.
Oh man, now
He
you're
was
gonna
quiet
make
the
me, now
whole
you're
time, and then all
really
of a
gonna make
sudden,
me post
boom.
this. You lucky my student. Oh my gosh, you lucky my student posted this on TikTok. Okay, so
You need
it
to
was
tag them too. I hope you know that. You have to tag
Oh.
them too.
What's up,
So they
back here?
can share this.
oh man, looks like I have to post this tomorrow. Thank you, Salef. But okay, so what had happened was I was driving to the dojo, right? This was like around 10:30 in the morning. My boss Damien calls me saying, "Hey, what time are you gonna be at the dojo?" I said, "Okay, I'm gonna be there roughly around 11." And then he starts talking about the big TV that we have on the wall, that he reprogrammed it, and I was just like, "Okay." In my head, I'm like, "Okay, that's weird. Why would he talking about the TV?" All right, cool. So got to the dojo. There was a couple of adults training on the floor doing a private lesson. All right, cool. So I'm sitting in the lobby, this lobby right here. Let me show you really quick. This lobby right here.
It's a cool lobby.
So I'm on my phone, right? On my phone. This phone that is on live stream right now, that I'm pointing at right now. Just sitting down on my phone. Next thing you know, my student popped up and tried to scare the crap out of me. So as soon as he jumped up, I jumped back, launched my phone to his forehead, and clap.
You have to see this video and how accurate this guy's aim is from a nap.
With my left
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Like my
I need this
reaction.
video in my life.
Yes.
So
Dang, poor kid.
there's reasons why. Well, he's 16, so
Oh, all right.
there's reasons why. There's reasons why, because I feel like I don't want to get backlashed. I know there are people like that.
No, we need this. We need
No,
this
he
video.
Thank you, Salef. Thank you.
anytime.
Oh my God. So
Oh,
yeah,
I can't go to.
my-
I can't take him to my haunted hayride. He's gonna fight everyone there.
That's right.
No.
He's gonna throw
I can't-
everything off the.
Nah, just know I don't do haunted houses like that. I don't do haunted houses. I almost kicked somebody. But no, like my reaction to that literally, I jumped back like 007, bam, launched my phone, and it ricocheted off his forehead.
Wow. All right. So Kaelyn, what were
you,
your
Salef.
biggest
Thank you.
inspirations?
I'm
First
actually very
off-
interested to hear this.
Well,
Yeah.
first off, I'm very inspired by Rashad's like quick scope skills.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
There, honestly, I don't have any one specific inspiration that I can, attribute all of my super success to. But, all of the people that I've competed with throughout the years, including a lot of the people, that have been either younger than me or in different divisions than me, have been such an inspiration through my life. The first few people that I actually saw doing sport karate, where I was like, I need to be there. I very vividly remember I was sitting in my living room on the floor. I think my mom was braiding my hair or something. And we were scrolling through the TV guide and it said karate. And I was like, that's weird. I've never seen karate on TV. And it was the US Open. And it was Tyler Weaver and Mackenzie Emery. They were called the Wonder Twins at the time with their sink form. It was crazy. And I just saw them and they did a Webster to the knee. And I was like, I need to be on that stage. And I was. So that's great. But I mean, like I said, all of the people that I've competed against, all of the women in my division now are huge, huge, huge inspirations. Jackson Rudolph has helped me through all of my mishaps and bobbles, and I've done hundreds probably of his seminars, or tens of his seminars. But he's helped me very much, and I look up to him quite frequently. Like I said, there's so many to list. All of my team, my coach, Mr. Lovelace, is one of my biggest inspirations, frankly. But if you want me to give a list, I can give a list.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
okay. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, hang on tight for
Wow.
this one. Let's see.
All right.
All right. Let's see if I can remember a lot of the people. Hope Chase, Bridget Chase, Zoe Brown, Amber Rutherford, Lainey Barrett, Tyler Weaver, Mackenzie Emery, Sammy Smith. Hi, Sammy. Haley Glass, obviously. Solange, Kylie
cousin.
Boyer. Yes. Kylie Boyer. Let's see. Who else is in my division? Sarah Campbell. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Reed Presley, Jacob Pinto, Jacob Ellis, all of the Jacobs. Too many of the Jacobs. Obviously Salef, because he's like the trick master. Jeff Doss, Kyle Petrosky, Alex Dingman, Mike Chad. This is just off the top of my head. I'm going to go home and I'm going to remember all of them and just list them off on Facebook later.
There you go.
This is a bigger list than mine.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
a big
There's
list.
so
That's
many.
the worst
There's
thing.
so many people that I look at and I'm like, dang, they're fantastically amazing. Tressa Young. I don't know if you guys
Yes,
remember Tressa
yes,
Young.
Tressa was great.
Young was fantastic. She was one I really looked up to. Honestly, a lot of it was watching Mr. Doss compete on stage all the time, and I was like, dang, I would like to be where he is, because I just always remember, you know, the big bright lights of Kumite Classic. I was an NBL kid. I hope you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but I was a very late comer to NASCA. I didn't start NASCA until I was probably, actually this last year was my first full season of NASCA.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that is not common.
Right.
For you
And
to
so
be where you are,
right,
to have started in NASCA that short. There's few people that have been able to do something like that. So I'm gonna give you a big compliment right now.
Thank you.
The few people that have really done that, and it's funny because Compete Nationals just happened, and I remember 2001 Compete Nationals was, and I remember seeing Steve Torrada in his JPM uniform the first time, right? And so then, and someone was like, "Dang, that dude got on JPM like super quick," and it really only had like 3 tournaments before that. So
yeah, well, it was like one season, yeah,
right. And then he
competed 2000. He literally wasn't really doing any NASCA. He comes out to compete at 2000, and then by the next tournament, he's the top competitor in the sport.
And he won all those junior overalls.
I really appreciate the compliment. And I mean, growing up, I was almost nothing but a local MSKC kid. Shout out to Lynn and Avery Sutter that just competed in VFT, by the way. Yes. They're hometown heroes. And so I was around pretty much them my whole time growing up. And then I branched out to NBL, you know, with Dylan Zeus, and when Maddie Brannigan was doing it still. I don't know if any of you guys remember them. But, I mean, I honestly don't even remember my first NASCA tournament.
What?
I don't. It was such a blur, but I believe it was AKA Warrior Cup, but I can't be for sure. But I was really bad at that first few AKAs, and I kind of repressed that memory because I don't want to remember it, because I just was not as good as I am now. But I was still competing against like Trinity Davis, Mary Amato. There's a huge, why can I not remember these right now? I'm being put on the spot, but you get my point. I was around these amazing group of girls growing up that just inspired me to be the best self that I can be. Awesome. And, you know, I'm watching one of my heroes that I've watched since I was a kid, Sammy Smith, and now I'm competing against her. How amazing is that, you know?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
That's one of the best feelings in the world is, you know, getting an outside perspective and watching that live stream from me on stage at US Open. And I'm like, wow, I'm really competing against someone that I've, you know, looked to see on stage. And I thought to myself, I need to be there. And then I am. And I'm like, wow, can you imagine?
All right. So listen, we are really running out of time, but so I'm trying to think of some ways to wrap this up. I really want to do a part 2 of this because we got tons to talk about.
So much.
So maybe we change what our plans are next week or the week after when we make this happen, because I'm having fun. Are you guys having fun?
I'm having
definitely more to talk about.
Yeah, we got more to talk about, and this is definitely fun. So let's just I just want to hear what you guys' goals are for this year. And that'll be what we finish this up, and then we'll get some set up for the next one. What do you think, Alex? That sound good, Alex?
I mean, I'm ready. I think we just keep this good thing going.
Yeah, I know. Listen, we can't listen. Travis is gonna kill us. All right. All right. If we keep going.
We gotta go.
Oh yeah. We gotta go. Yeah. All right. I got what you're saying. All right. So, Rashad, what's the goals? I know I talked to you at Florida about some of that, but share with the world. What are some of the goals?
I know one of the goals for me is winning a fighting overall, since not a particular tournament, just any tournament. Well, preferably a NASCAR tournament, since I won CMX weapons, traditional weapons, CMX forms. Traditional forms, I don't know about that. I'll be honest with you about that one. But fighting, Kaelyn, stop. But fighting, don't make me go to a Michigan tournament with Ohan. Don't make me do it. Okay.
I don't no, there's actually some quite good
There is.
men's competitors here in Michigan. You
Yeah,
guys,
Braden
you had
Hunter, man.
you guys had commentated on the Arctic
Yes.
Challenge.
That was super fun.
You know what? I got discouraged after going to Texas doing traditional farm, so I take my offer back. But no, just winning fightings overall. Preferably with good competition, but let's see what happens in the future. And just other goals, just keep on doing what I'm doing, winning, making it to stage, hopefully to win overalls, and just go from there. Keep progressing with what I'm doing. Hopefully that some of the tricks that I want to put towards CMX forms and weapons, that I hope to do that as far as this competition in the future in the competition. So those are one of my goals, a couple of my goals actually.
Awesome. All right, Kaelyn, let's go.
Cool. Well, I would like to say that I've kind of already accomplished some of my childhood goals this year with being on stage at AKA Warrior Cup and getting my first overall weapons grand last year, my first NASCA season at Pan Am's. So those are two childhood bucket list goals that I crossed off, honestly. But honestly, for the rest of this year, I'm really wanting to be the best self that I can be, with my physicality, with my strength, with my movement, and being really strong, and making sure that my mental health stays sharp and positive. And I also want a ring from Diamonds. So
There you go. Yeah.
Now wait, that's like the top though, right?
Yeah,
Or I
that's
don't
right.
know.
Awesome.
I'll get there. If
Yeah.
I put my mind to anything, I can do it.
Awesome. I love it. Salef.
All right. The funny thing is,
I wanna
this was
hear.
actually my plan. What this was gonna be my last year competing,
Right.
because I'm planning to move out soon to go to LA.
Yeah.
But my main goal was to win the Warrior Cup, but that couldn't happen, unfortunately.
Right.
So I'll be coming back next year to Warrior Cup,
Win
and
that.
I'll
So
be
that would
back
be
and
his
getting
last
it.
one.
That's gonna. I just want that Warrior Cup. That's
Yeah.
the main goal.
I can't wait to see you win that.
So what? Now I'm curious because this is it. This is like the farewell tour for you, basically.
Hey, it's gonna be the kiss farewell
Technically,
tour. He's
no.
gonna come back anyway.
I'll be back to probably some tournaments here and there next year.
Okay.
Well, what tournaments? Are you
I'm
doing
definitely
this year,
dying
then?
down.
If this is it for this year, like what are the ones you're doing?
So, holy smokes! I actually never thought about it because, since I'm not like competing or have thought about competing so much, maybe Battle of Atlanta might be my next one. Maybe U.S. Open and Diamonds. Those are the main ones I'm planning to go.
Okay.
Those are good
Awesome.
choices.
Awesome.
Those are good staples.
Yep. Those are the big ones. Those are the
It's
ones
gonna
that
be
do.
like the kiss farewell tour. He's gonna say he's going, and then he comes back anyway.
Listen. All I'm saying is, I'm just wondering when Tyler is going to compete, man. He throwing out teasers.
Yeah, I know. What
He's
is
throwing
everybody
out
think?
teasers.
I
Listen,
just want to see.
He wants
Tyler,
some.
you
He
know who
wants
else?
some of Salef. That's what he wants.
Hey,
I was
Oh,
wondering where
guys.
Danny was too during
Yeah.
competes.
I kept
Like I
hearing
actually was
everyone.
excited to go against him.
He's in
Yeah.
Too, I
college.
drafted the dude on my sport karate team.
Yeah, true.
Gosh,
I mean,
just
I
imagine
thought
a division that
I
sharp.
thought
You
Jacob
got
was going to compete. I keep hearing.
Pinto.
We heard that
Oh,
Pinto
yeah.
was going to
Pinto.
compete. You know who
Yeah,
else?
I heard that too.
Who else looks like they're ready to compete? Steve Tirada. Steve Tirada's training
Oh
and
my
doing
gosh.
forms and got a uniform. and-
no.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Oh,
come
don't
on,
play
man.
with
We
my
got
emotions.
everybody back out there.
but
Like,
Can you
honestly,
imagine?
the 30
That's
plus
the level.
division's the hardest. Going to be the hardest division, man.
listen, hold
If
up. I
all
have
those
a
guys
question.
come out,
Wait, I have a question. Alex and Jeff, who scored the most points for the fantasy draft?
That's a good question.
Who scored the most points?
at
Well, I'd say who
which
scored the
tournament?
least.
This tournament, Cali.
Oh, you compete. All right. Listen,
We don't know
Jackson
yet.
is doing finals right now, so we don't have any of
Yeah,
the
we're
tallies
giving that
yet.
dude grace.
So we don't
Oh,
even
he's
know
the
yet.
winner. at the end.
Yeah, so he's finishing that, and then he's gonna get on that. So we're all kind of wondering too. So Yeah.
I might have had some,
That's
man.
so
I might
fun.
have had
So
some
yeah,
beer.
Rashad, you should be up there, man. So yeah. Because now we are getting points for top 3. So first place, second place, third
Oh,
place. It's not
cool.
just
Listen,
so
all I'm
Dang, I
saying
got
is
20
out of
points.
Yeah.
all I'm saying is out of all 10, possibly 10 divisions that I didn't place in one and I dropped in the other. Everything else top 3. Okay, so I'm just
boom.
gonna stand with that.
Yeah,
That
there we go.
point.
You're welcome,
Awesome.
Chris Walker, my brother. You're welcome. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Florida, man. Florida staying together. All right. Hey, and again, this is y'all's, and I've shared this too, but for me, we've talked so much about making your own path, and doing that and having certain goals that it's not just like what everyone else thinks. It's like you have certain personal ones, and so for me, it's that winning traditional grands with a Korean form, which is the thing. Again, we've talked about people you don't see many Korean forms win against Japanese. You don't see my bad. Don't take this wrong. The real traditional weapons beat the sport traditional weapons. All right. You don't see that many creative forms win in the CMX grands. It happens, but it's not as much. So again, that's the same thing. For me, it's doing that, and then doing that with also students doing the same thing. I mean, and I know all you guys do the same. You have students that you're doing, and I'm sure you do this not just for yourself, but also to inspire them. So, and you are, man, you're inspiring us and you're inspiring them. And so let's keep it up and let's keep sharing. And I think we will come back with a part 2 very soon. So with this
Very
same group,
excited.
I think so. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, let's keep this good thing
Yeah.
going. That's what I'm
Yes.
saying.
But
But not right now. Now we gotta go. We
Yeah,
are
I gotta get to
OT
bed.
Big time.
It's 10:30. I
Yeah.
have to go home.
Yeah, it's time to go home.
Yeah, I'm
This
training.
has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and
I'm
Jeff.
training.
I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you
I'm
guys.
Kaelyn.
Let's go. That's how you say it, Kaelyn.
That's how
say
you
it, Kaelyn.
outro.
Yeah.